What do you say, baseball fans? Rye Bread Talking Sports, episode 11. This one goes to 11. It's louder than other episodes for you Spinal Tap fans. We're putting a bow on our rivalry weekend. We're going to talk a little bit about the upcoming schedule and the timing and how it affects the season, and finish her off with our superlatives. The Rays go into New York and sweep the Yankees. Garrett Cole gets $36 million a year to be the stopper, and he wasn't able to get a win yesterday. I don't blame him. He pitched well. The Yankees needed that game, and they didn't get it. That was a big win for the Rays. That one stings. It was a bullpen start, opener day, backed up by Ryan Yarbrough. Yarbrough's a good pitcher, but when you're matching him up against Garrett Cole, you had to expect that the Yankees would find a way to win that game, and they didn't, and it hurts. The Rays could not have been luckier to face the Yankees right now because they're down. Yoshi Tsutsugo goes full Tsutsugo, hits a double in the 7th inning, puts the Rays on top. Joey ends up tacking on a bomb late. Rays win, and New York's in trouble. Joey Wendell's got me looking like the prognosticator of prognosticators, Puxatani Phil. The prognosticator of prognosticators, Puxatani Phil. You got to say that one twice. He stayed hot. The Yankees need a win. Bad. But they have all day to think about it today on their off day. But it doesn't get any easier. They host the Braves on Tuesday for a couple games. The same Braves that did a hospital job on the Cubs last night in a game that I have no idea was why it was played at night. That Padres-Dodgers game should have been the night game, and the Cubs and Braves should have been the 4 o'clock to lead right into it. I have no idea how the marketing is done at MLB. I teach marketing. I've taught marketing classes at the university level, and I haven't gotten to the chapter yet where the MLB's marketing strategy has come to light. I cannot figure out how they're doing their marketing. How do people outside of baseball not know Mike Trout or Ronald Acuna? It's a really curious approach. They seem content to keep this sport regionalized and limit the national appeal. If you want national appeal for your sport, you put the Padres and Dodgers on in the night game. It's a no-brainer. But they dropped the ball yet again, and I'm done being surprised by it. But anyway, it doesn't get any easier for the Yankees. Atlanta, even if Acuna is not in the lineup, Acuna came out of the game on Sunday. It looked like he was injured. Abdominal strain, they're calling it. Could be anything. I'm not going to speculate. I'm not a doctor. But even if Acuna is not in the lineup for the Braves, their pitching lines up well. The Yankees are going to roll Tyone and Kluber out there for this 2-game set. They have not pitched well. Morton showed that he can handle the Yankees when he was a member of the Rays last year. And Ian Anderson at the end of last year was so filthy, he was untouchable. He's been off to a slow start, so maybe Kluber and Anderson gives the Yankees their best shot at a win. But if Acuna's in the lineup, my goodness, it's going to be tough for the Yankees to pull out these games. I think this sets up well for Atlanta to win these games. And after that, they head out on the road for 8 games. Now, an 8-game stretch of Cleveland and Baltimore at the beginning of the year probably didn't look very arduous. But it's a harder road now, especially given the situation they're in. The timing matters. They need wins. And Cleveland's playing better than people thought, and their pitching is running out of superlatives. Biebs is on fire, and they're going to face him. And then they head to Baltimore. Baltimore is not going to be waiting on their back for New York to come to town. New York is going to have to earn those wins too. Just ask Boston what it's like playing the Orioles. At least earlier in the year, right now, the Orioles are playing well enough to beat you. So it's not like they're facing a stretch of unwinnable games. It's just a little bit harder than maybe anticipated. And now with the extra pressure of this losing streak and getting swept at home, maybe in back-to-back series, because Atlanta is tough. I think Atlanta might win these games. And the Rays could not have been luckier to catch New York now while they're down. The timing of a season is crucial to where you end up. These April games count just as much as the September games. I know it's a cliche, but it's true. It's just as much weight in the standings. And a 3-game sweep at their place couldn't be luckier as far as the timing of the meeting. But then you turn around if you're the Rays and you head out to Kansas City to face the red-hot Royals. The Royals have the best winning percentage in the American League. So as good as the timing was for the Rays to face the Yankees when they did, man, it's not good timing to take the Royals right now. Who wants to face the Royals right now? Nobody. The answer is nobody wants to face the Royals right now. They stayed hot against the Jays yesterday. Salvi hit a 2-run job into the fountain, and they stayed hot. The Royals are on fire. And Brady Singer put it together yesterday. He's a young pitcher with a lot of tools, the Gator. I've been watching all of his starts this year. He's not quite ready to be on the appointment pitcher list, but he's starting to put it together, and it's a welcome sight for Royals fan who needs some pitching. Just like the Yankees need some pitching. My goodness, the hitting for the Yankees is going to come around. The Yankees are going to end up hitting at some point, but I don't see a whole lot out of the pitching. Their pitching at the top is good, obviously, but man, it thins out quick, and I don't see any remedy coming. Severino's a while away, and he's coming off surgery. So I don't know how much they're going to be able to rely on Severino. He's good. Maybe Herman can put it back together. But right now their pitching is a mess. They're not hitting, but they will. And the rivalry weekend didn't turn out to be much of a rivalry, I guess, because the Rays took the whole thing. The Padres, however, managed to salvage their Sunday game and win one. They could have had all 3 of those games, but it was good that they got at least that first one. The Padres are in danger, I think, of looking ahead to renewed hostilities next weekend in LA. We're going to have to keep an eye on the Padres to make sure that they're eating what's on their plate. But they're pros. I'm not too worried about it. The Dodgers probably won't have that problem. World Series champion Dodgers. I'm not worried about them. But it's something to keep an eye on with the Padres, because to be honest, the Dodgers and the Padres are not in the toughest leg of their schedule right now. So it's going to get harder for both of those teams, and they need to get their wins while they can. And both of them have been winning. The Padres have been winning their games also. They just ran into the Dodgers. And it didn't disappoint. And like I said earlier, I don't know how that wasn't the night game. What an awesome finish. But the thing that you have to mention about both of those series, the rivalry series, the umpiring was glaringly poor. You don't want to notice the umpiring. And man, it was hard not to. I watch a lot of Rays games, so I'm familiar with Dwayne Statz and Brian Anderson and the way that they get around calling out umpires. They give them a break. It's a hard job. They don't ride them immediately. Oh, that's a terrible call. Where you at? The announcers are under guidance to go easy on the umpires. But there's a fine line where your credibility as an announcer comes into question if you don't point out the fact that this strike zone is going off the rails. In the Rays game yesterday, the umpire, a young umpire, he almost seemed like he was afraid to call a ball on Garrett Cole. That was a wide zone yesterday for both teams. Yarbs was getting everything, and that helps him because he's a finesse guy. But it was a questionable strike zone at best, and he's a young umpire. And the older, experienced umpire, Cuzzy, he was all over the place in that showcase game, Dodgers and Padres. And it wasn't just that game. It was a series-long problem in both series. And it's becoming more and more noticeable. I don't know if it's because the pitchers are better, but this weekend's slate of poor umpiring was the strongest case for robot umpires that I've seen in a while. Because it was hard not to notice. When the announcers have left, it could have been a strike. I tried the corner and missed. When they're leaving those euphemisms at the door for, that's not a strike. That's a ball. what is this guy calling? When it goes there, you know it's bad. And it was bad. So that has to be fixed. But absolute power corrupts absolutely. That's not mine. I didn't make that one up. That's Machiavelli. But it's true. Umpires with carte blanche to call the strike zone however they see fit is causing a problem. And yes, I understand that consistency is the most problem, or is the most important thing. But if consistently outside the strike zone is now a strike, it's a problem. I noticed it so much I couldn't not notice it, and that's a problem for MLB. Something has to be done about that umpiring situation. Because to the casual fan, I can't imagine how frustrating it would be. Like, I don't understand. That's not in the box for the strike. Why is he calling it that? I'm trying to explain this to my wife. It's a fool's errand. They will not understand it because it's not something you can understand. But I don't want to go negative because it was such an exciting series. And we'll keep an eye on if the Padres are looking forward to that matchup this weekend rather than what's on their plate. But that's going to be something we can report on throughout the week here. The superlatives for the day, Aaron Nola is maybe the best pitcher you don't know about. It's not like he's an unknown. He's a top 10 pick out of LSU. People know about him, but maybe they don't realize how good he is. Yesterday, 10 strikeouts, complete game shutout against the Cards. This guy is appointment television as well. Another schedule him in pitcher, joining the Biebs. Biebs struck out 13 Reds yesterday. That's 10 games in a row. That's 4 games in a row with 10 strikeouts plus. It's a record, his own record he broke. And that 48 Ks through 4 games ties Nolan Ryan. Not bad company. So Biebs is on fire, and the Yankees are going to get a taste of him. The Indians, back to the timing, they got to love it if the Yankees stroll in there on a massive losing streak. They'll try and kick them when they're down. You best believe it. So we'll keep an eye on the Yankees. We'll keep an eye on the Padres if they stay focused this week before they go back out to L.A. or they go out to L.A. and start that thing all over again. Spicy. I expect a little spice in that series. And I can't go any further without Salvi. Salvi went Salvi again. He stayed hot. The Rays are going to go out and meet the catcher of my dreams, Salvador Perez. I know I already touched on it, but my goodness, I love it when a catcher gets right. Salvador Perez has got to be the player of the week. Guy's on fire. Love you, Salvi. That'll do it for us for today. That will do it for us today. The English professor is a wordsmith today. At RyeBread0844 on Twitter. I just want to talk a little baseball if you got a little spare time in your pocket. If you're at the Trop and you want a nice steak, Bascom's Chop House is the best steakhouse in Tampa Bay. Tell them I sent you. You might get a little hookup. Thank you for watching. We'll be back again tomorrow. Do it all again. I'm going to do 162. Thank you.